Oh, what a fantastic draw. Okay, so let's go 3 mana. I guess we keep... Yeah, we'll do that. 3 mana. We'll make a general token, and we get to cascade as well. Oh, and for the extra value, we get to hit into the Marauder first. Cascade trigger again. Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Smurfy, and as you can see in front of us today, we are casting some Crashing Footfalls. But hopefully not on turn 3, we're going to be trying to do it on as soon as turn 2. So the reason that I actually am playing this deck today is because just recently I played in a modern event, local one, and I was messing around with Bloodbraid Marauder in Domain Zoo. I'll pop the deck list up so you guys can see it, but basically it was a Domain Zoo list, but with 4 Bloodbraid Marauders, and trying to cascade into Rhinos, whilst also doing Zoo things like Tribal Flames and all that good stuff. And I found that the Bloodbraid Marauders were really, really powerful, and I wanted to build a deck specifically around this, and take out the Zoo component, and just go all in on the Marauder. So this is what we've got in front of us. You can do it as soon as turn 2. There are quite a few ways to do this. The first thing is you will always need a fetch land, because that's the easiest way to enable Delirium, and then you need 1 card that counts for 2 types. So the first way that you can do this is by using a incubation, which is an instant and a sorcery when you use it. So you use that on turn 1, you fetch, and then you use one of your pitch elementals to get a creature into the graveyard. Then you've got land, instant, sorcery, and creature. Alternatively, you can use Architects of Will and a fetch land. That gives you artifact, creature, and land, and then you use a Force of Negation. And there we go, we've got Delirium as soon as turn 2, or I guess you can do it on turn 1. So yeah, that is the 2 combinations of ways that you can get it as soon as turn 2. Bloodbraid Marauder on turn 2 is absolutely insane. It's very, very hard for most modern decks to come back from that. There are also some things that you can do. So Shardless Agent works incredibly well if you want to go wide by hitting into a Marauder and then hitting Footfalls. So you actually get 4, 8, 13 power for 3 mana, which is insane. And we do also have 2 generals as well. A lot of the deck just happens to be multicolored. You've got Shardless Agent, you've got Architects of Will, which late game you can just cast if you have a general in play. Violent Outburst, Ardent Plea, and the Incubation. They're all multicolored, so it kind of is not a huge cost to play some generals, and it's just another alternative way to make some 4/4s in the mirror match, or I should say, like when you play against normal Rhinos, the general can get a lot of value. So when you both start running out of Crashing Footfalls by trading off all the time, you can actually just keep making more Rhinos, which is really sweet. And moving over to the sideboard, what have we got? We've got some gemstones, just because it's just a broken land at the moment. Being able to, I guess you can technically do this turn 1. So if you gemstone in your opponent's turn, and during their end step you cycle an Architects of Will and then Force of Negation, yeah, I guess you can turn 1. That seems pretty crazy. That's very unlikely, but yeah, you can actually turn 1 Bloodbraid Marauder in this deck with the Domain. That would be really, really sweet. We're playing some Endurance just because it's just an excellent card in Modern at the moment. 2 more Furies for the creature matchups. 2 Commandeers because honestly it's just a really fun card to play. Stealing your opponent's big spells is just really, really sweet. And 2 Questing Beast. Since people have been playing this in Rhinos, there is no way I'm not going to play it, because Red-Green Monsters was my favourite deck in Standard, and Questing Beast is just a lot of nostalgia for me. So yeah, love to see Questing Beast. And Wear and Tear is Wear and Tear. It's a catch-all. But yeah, so I guess you can actually technically turn 1 Bloodbraid Marauder. We'll be happy with a turn 2, but let's see what we can do. Let's get into some games. And before I forget, if you guys do enjoy the content and you like seeing wacky versions of decks, make sure to subscribe. There is plenty more content where this came from. We're always playing something a little bit off. So yeah, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the games. Alright, let's try and get some turn 2 Rhinos. We get to go on the play, which is awesome. Got that YouTuber luck. And what do we got? Yeah, this hand is pretty poor, I think. We'll go ahead and send that one back. Oh no, what on earth is this? Yeah, I think we can go ahead and send that one back. And we'll go ahead and keep this. We will ditch 1, 2 lands. Are we ditching 2 lands? No, let's go ahead and ditch a Fury and a land and just hope that an Outburst and a General is going to be enough. So we'll just lead off with the Scalding Tarn and pass. The mana base is a bit tricky in this deck. There is an awful lot going on. You've got lots of different cyclers costing lots of different types of mana, but I think leading off with a Catch a Trime is going to be the best start. We draw up a Seiju, which might come in handy, so we'll go ahead and pass the turn. And there is still a 50-50 chance that Outburst does just hit Rhinos instead of our Delirium Bloodbraid Marauder. But I think we'll just lead off with the General, and then that way we're guaranteed 1 Rhino from the General, because it's a multicolored spell, and we'll go from there. Opponent goes Zagoth Trime and a Sacred Foundry, so they're probably Domain Zoo, which it looks like they are. If that's the case, I kind of want to just blow up this Black Source, but I think we'll have to go for the Draco. Let's go ahead and fetch. So we need a white source. I guess we can get that with the Misty anyway, so if that's the case, we probably just go for a basic and preserve our life total. Actually, no, we're just going to go ahead and shock here, because we're going to need a red and a white anyway for General. So let's go end of turn. Let's just wait until they actually go to their end step, in case they have like a wild Nacatl or something. Yeah, we're going to go for the Triumph. Generally, I don't like going for the Triumph, but a lot of these lists don't don't play a second Black Source, and that way their Carvus all of a sudden start dying to our General tokens. Okay, they do, but they really screw themselves over, so they must have another fetch in hand. Alright, so we'll play the Misty, and we'll go fetch. We've got all the mana that we need, really. We've got white and red on separate lands, so I think we can just go for the plains this time. We'll go red, white, anything. Play the General. And we should be able to race our opponent quite quickly, particularly if we can cascade into something good. If we hit a 3-1, we hit the 3-1, but if not, we're going to be making a lot of power each turn. So opponent swings in here for 4. We've got a couple more turns before we need to be too concerned about the Draco. It's the Tribal Flames that's going to throw off the math. And our opponent doesn't have a green source, so they can't play Carvu, they can't play Goyf, no Brawlers. There we go, there's the Windswept Teeth. But they're going to have to fetch Shock, I would expect, unless they play the one of Forest. Some lists play a Forest, some don't. No messing about, straight for the Breeding Pool. Into a Carvu? No, into a Brawler. Okay, that is a much, much better situation for us to be in, because these trade with Rhinos. Alright, I don't think we have too much choice here, so let's just go. I think we want to do the Shardless first in case we need to use this Anthem. The plussing might actually be relevant. So here we go. We get a 4/4 for free. The first one's on the house, and then hopefully we're going to hit Rhinos here. Oh, we don't. We hit the Marauder, but that's okay. And I don't think we want to make that trade. Wait, let's do some math here actually. If we swing, we put them to 11. They're swinging for 4, 8, 12. Yeah, I think we actually do have to swing here. It's obviously not a trade that we're wanting to do, but I don't think they'll block, so it shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, I think we need to apply the pressure, and now we can block with our Shardless Agent, giving us a creature and artifact in our graveyard. Alright, well, we could just be dead. What have they got? Yeah, that is just game. Fair play to our opponent. We could have gone for the Sign of Draco. Perhaps that would have been a better play. I think it's quite tough regardless, but yeah, I think maybe in hindsight that would have been better. So this can't hit creatures, unfortunately, so that's not really going to be relevant. I don't think there's anything else we want. These can be fine against Leyline Binding and Draco, but that's not too many targets. On the other hand, Force of Negation is a little bit weaker. They do have Stubborn Denial, but I don't think you want too many forces in. And I think that's about it. So let's go ahead and do that. Send it back. We definitely want to go first again. Yeah, that was a super lackluster opening hand, but we were on a mole, so can't be too upset, I guess. Is this hand even good? So we've got the Subtlety for their first creature, Fury for another one or something. I guess we just keep this and try and answer their first couple of threats and draw something good in the meantime. So we're going to lead off with the Steam Vents tapped. Obviously you normally want to go get a Triumph on turn 1, but we need to use the fetch to potentially get a white source. So we'll just lead off with the Steam Vents. Opponent's doing the turn 1 Triumph, so our turn 2 Subtlety is going to be really strong here. Okay, so we just draw the Hallowed Fountain. We'll go ahead and play it tapped. And pass the turn back. So the question is, do we want a Fury or Subtlety their threat? So Subtlety does only answer it for a turn, but Furies are much better if you can get them to stick. 5 mana is quite a lot though. There's the Kavu. I think we're just going to Subtlety that because we can't Fury it. So I assume our opponent's going to put this back on top. Normally I'm on the other side of this matchup. I'm normally the Domain Zoo player, so I feel the pain of your turn 2 creature getting Subtletied. We draw an Architects of Will, so I think what we're going to do is we're just going to cycle that straight away in case we find something else to do. There's the Marauder, only 2 creature and artifact at the moment, so we can get a fetch land in the bin soon, and we're just 1 type away from getting the Rhinos. Our other option is, if we don't think we're going to get Delirium too soon, is we can just like use this to be pitched to a Fury, but don't really want to be doing that. So we're just going to go end of turn, go get I guess we've already got a white source. We've got red and white separate. I think we're just going to go for the Triumph at this point. Normally I like to keep the Triumphs in your deck if you can, because then you can cycle them later on. But I think we actually want to get to 5 mana now. Oh, and we drawn a Cast Out. So we can cycle that and then just Marauder here. I think that seems pretty strong. We've drawn another Marauder. This should be fun. All right, so let's go ahead and cast a Footfalls. Marauder resolves, and we will pass the turn back to our opponent. Feeling very confident now that this is resolved. We are only down to 3 cards though, but we are 1 land away from hard casting these Furies, and that's pretty strong as well. So opponent's going to loot with their Kavu here. What are they throwing away? They throw away the Stubborn Denial because we've already resolved the Rhinos. We're swinging for 11. I kind of just want to let our opponent hit us here. They're going to play another creature, I assume, but actually, you know what? We're going to block. The reason we're going to block is because I think we're actually favored if this game drags out a little bit longer, just because we've got the double Fury. Like if they follow up with any other 2-drop that isn't a Kavu, we can just Fury and kill it. I assume they're going to Binding one of these now. No, they're just going to Bolt. Alright, we'll take the 2 for 1. That's it's really, really good for us here. I don't really know what else. Oh, they play they play the poor Wild Nakato. Feels very rough for our opponent. And we drew another Marauder. I think that's surely got to be over. So we cast the Footfalls again. And the question is, do we play the second one or do we just keep it up? Surely we just play it, right? I think so. This might be greedy, it might be better to keep one back, but I think this way we're just presenting lethal next turn. Would we have anyway? 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14? Yeah, technically we would have anyway, but they're... Okay, so they're traded off their Nikao. Somehow our very low mulligan. Oh no, that was last game. This game seems to be going pretty well. The last game did feel pretty rough, but... Yeah, this is really showing how Bloodbraid Marauder costing 1 less is so much more powerful when you can double spell it. But I think even if we just did 1 a turn, it probably would have been enough. Alright, sweet. On to game 3. We probably want to bring in a gemstone or 2. And I think we want to just cut the Force of Negations. And just go like all in on the early game. Yeah, let's give that a go. If you draw them at multiples, you just pitch one to the other. So it's not too bad. Oh, it feels so bad being on this side of the field because I'm normally the person on the other team. I'm normally the Domain Zoo player getting angry, or the net deck is playing Rhinos. But do you keep a hand with this? I think we do. We're only on 1 land, but we've got 2 cyclers, so we'll go ahead and keep. We'll put the gemstone in play, and what do we get rid of? I guess we don't really need 2 of these, so we'll get rid of 1 of these. Alright, opponent, what you got? Just a tapped land. Sure, we'll go ahead and cycle this on turn 1 and really hope to find a land. Okay, sweet. We're looking good. So we've got artifact and creature in the graveyard. Oh, we are just 1 away. We can fetch and go to 3, but we're still 1 away. So we've got a turn 2 Marauder, but that's not quite as impressive as a turn 1. That would have been sweet. Does it really matter what we do here? I guess we cycle first, see what we find. A cast out. That's pretty good. So we'll go ahead and play the land. What we can do is cycle the cast out, giving us Delirium, and then we still can pitch this to Subtlety if we need to Subtlety their 2-drop, which we're probably going to do. How bad can Subtletying their 2-drop be? Oh, they just turn 2 Savai Triumph? Oh, that is so slow for our opponent here. Let's go ahead and fetch Temple Garden, Shock. Go ahead and cycle and untap. This to me signals a Stubborn Denial, but unfortunately for our opponent, they don't have a creature in play. So let's just go play a land, tap 2, and play the Marauder. This way we can play around Stubborn Denial. The only thing they could have is like Spell Pierce or Flusterstorm. If they have it, that's fine. So we hit the Footfalls, cast it. Have they got the no, have they got anything other than Stubborn Denial? Spell Pierce would do it here. Waiting for our opponent. What have they got? Oh my god, it resolves. The turn 2 Rhinos is online, and we've even got mana spare to suspend the Crashing Footfalls, or we could just cast this. I think we want to just suspend though. And now we can keep up Subtlety back up, and I'm feeling pretty far ahead at this point. Engineered Explosives would be annoying, but we've got another Outburst, which could add either 8 or 11 power to the board, because you can cascade into a Cascader and then you cast that. What have you got, opponent? Green, white. What on earth is green, white? Some of the hate bear creatures like Lavinia and Dranith Magistrate just don't really work at this point because we've already got the creatures on board. So they are going to need some sort of engineered explosives. Consume All would probably be their best draw as well. Consume All just destroys everything with 1 or less CMC. But I know that a lot of Zoo decks don't play that anymore because it kills Nakato and Ragavan. But that's a really good option. If you are on the Zoo side of things and you want to have a better Rhinos matchup, I strongly suggest switching out your Brawlers and putting in Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf becoming a 4/5 makes it 1,000 times better than a Brawler, which is a 5/3. 5/3 trades into a single Rhino, whereas Goyf can often hit past them. Yeah, that's a really, really key card in the matchup. Opponent's got a green and a white. I have no idea what they're doing with a green and a white mana. They're just really in the tank here. Like, there's absolutely nothing that costs green white. Okay, sure, a Brawler. Okay. I meant specifically green white, like a Chrysali Pride Mage or something, but yeah, Brawler is not something we're worried about. We could have countered that, but I don't think there's really any point. So Crashing Footfalls comes off. One of the suspend counters comes off, so it's down to 3. It feels so wrong to be the bad guy playing the Rhinos deck. I know there are some people that absolutely love the deck, but yeah, it's an interesting list. Or it's an interesting deck, just cascading into Rhinos all the time. But I think playing the Marauder and the Incubation makes it a little bit more interesting. I generally don't like to play like the normal Rhinos list. I find it a little bit boring to play, to be honest. But adding the Delirium package, I think, has made it a lot more interesting. And you get to play loads of sweet cards. Like, who doesn't like to play Incubation, you know? So we draw the Revealed. I think we just swing with everything and Outburst, right? Yeah, I think so. I assume my opponent is going to trade with a Rhino, but that's fine. We'll still get in for 5-9 damage at least here. We could have cycled this first in hindsight. I don't think it's going to be too relevant though, to be honest. And we just go straight into another Footfalls. What have they got? Opponent's got a Leyline Binding. I'm going to get rid of one of the Rhinos. Trade with the other one. And they're going to take 5 here, and we're still left with 2 Rhinos. The fact that they've bindinged here tells you that they probably don't have any sort of token removal, so things like engineered explosives or ratchet bomb. Because if they did, they probably would have taken the extra 4 and then just kept the binding in hand. Or binding to this. So opponent plays another Brawler here. Do we want to subtlety this one? I kind of tempted to, just to get them dead and keep our Rhinos around. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll exile the Revealed, because I'd like to use this to just find another Cascader. Wow, this just feels so unfair that our opponent's just not really been able to do anything. I get why people play Rhinos now. Alright, so the suspend comes off down to 2. Still a little way from casting that one. Okay, we just draw another Outburst. This deck is just gas. 5, 10, that is just 14 damage. Rhinos has got to be one of the easiest decks to play. I mean, I've even made some misplays, but like the deck is just so straightforward. All right, yeah. Let's go to the next one, I guess. All right, round 2, and we get to go on the play again. Like I said, YouTuber luck gets you every time. What do we got? Turn 1 land revealed. We've got counter magic. We could do up a 3rd land, but I think this is possibly just good enough. We've got 2 draw steps to find a land. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and keep this. We'll play the Misty and pass. We could just go full greed and not fetch, and then just wait till we draw, and in that way we have 1 extra land in our deck. The reverse of deck thinning. Because we do really need to draw our next land. Okay, we're against Tron. That should make things a lot more fun. They play the map. I think we just force this. I have never played Rhinos, and I've never played against Tron, like playing this kind of deck. But I'm fairly sure you just try and stop them from doing the Tron stuff, and then hope you never have to deal with the top end. But we're going to go ahead, end of turn, fetch a, wherever it is, a Trime, I think, and untap. And we're just going to Island Cycle now, go and find, I guess Hallowed Fountain's probably the best choice, and play it tapped. So we've got instant sorcery and land in the graveyard. So I guess worst case scenario, we could just subtlety nothing and then Bloodbraid Marauder if we really wanted to. Our opponent just plays a forest. Yeah, I'm super tempted just to subtlety nothing here. Oh, we draw up a Seiju. I guess in that case we could just Ardent Plea and hope that we hit the Rhinos, or... No, I think we just want a subtlety here. Because this will put a creature in the graveyard. This feels super bad, but I think it's actually worth doing. So we subtlety, nothing goes in the graveyard. Our opponent is probably very puzzled at what we're doing here. But it doesn't really matter. And then we can keep this Beseiju and try and blow up a Tron land if we need to. Opponent is probably trying to figure out what the hell just happened. See if they have any response. Yeah, like, I think if we try and keep the subtlety up and try and play like reactively, eventually our opponent is just going to have much better cards than us. They've got the Warping Whale. They do. Okay, that sucks, but that's fine because we've got another one anyway. And we do still get the 3/1, which is, I mean, it's not nothing. It does speed up the clock a little bit. And I still think we want to keep this Beseiju just in case they somehow get a little bit closer to Tron. The forest is a little bit of a relief. But it's also a good answer to if they somehow manage to get like an Ensnaring Bridge into play. See what our opponent's got. Ancient Stirrings, you got it. Impressed that our opponent didn't Stirrings last turn. They decided to keep up the Warping Whale. That's very very disciplined. I think a lot of people just slam the Ancient Stirrings, but keeping up the counterspell is really good. As this tower, oh, our opponent is really struggling to get Tron going here. Let's just go ahead and red and anything. We're just going to Marauder again. We'll keep the Violent Outburst because you can use it as a pump spell. Have they got the second Warping Whale? Alright, opponent. I guess you got us good. We could have Violent Outburst it during their end step, but I think you're supposed to just slam the Marauder. And again, I don't see any reason to play the Boseiju. We can, if we untap, we can play it if we want to. If we draw a land, then we can keep the Boseiju in hand. Alright, 4 mana, you can now play a Khan. What can Khan do? I guess they could go get a bridge and then bridge the following turn. But they're still going to have like 3 or 4 cards in hand. I think these Marauders are still relevant, right? Hit your opponent for 6 each turn. So 6 puts them to 11. So it's still going to be 3 hits. Alright, yeah, they are going to go ahead and Khan here. I'm assuming they're going to get an Ensnaring Bridge. What have they gone for? I guess they could go get something that... Oh, they have gone for the Ensnaring Bridge. Okay. Cool. Unfortunately, opponent, that is not going to help you. We just draw another Marauder. Let's go 1 at Khan, 1 at the opponent's face. Heavily rewarded for not casting the playing the Boseiju. And let's just go red, anything. Cast the 3rd Marauder here. Is this deck actually good compared to the normal version of Rhinos? I assume not, because it's some crappy brew that I've made up. But it's it seems to be working pretty nicely. Like, we've mulliganed, still doing loads of good stuff. We're against like one of the best decks in the format, and we are threatening lethal. They can play a land, go down to and then play the bridge, and they'd be going down to 3 cards, and then we are just swinging for 9. But little do they know we've got the Boseiju ready. Okay, that's Tron assembled, so they could still just have something. Okay, they've just gone and played the bridge. And they've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana left. Oh, this could be a lot of scary things. Khan, sure. Khan get rid of the Triumph would be pretty bad. Yeah. Alright, well, we better draw a green source. Oh, we get rid of a card. We'll get rid of one of our footfalls. Yeah, we really, really need to draw a green source here. Come on, deck. Damn it. Alright, I guess we just pass until we find a green source. Oh, we can't because they're going to... We'll have to see what they do. If they have like another top-heavy card, but they are only down to 1 card in hand. They can Khan minus and just get rid of other lands. That would be very annoying. That would buy them a couple of turns. Sure, we'll lose an Outburst. See what their last card is. They should probably just crack this Relic now and just try and find something. Wait, do they just have something else? What have they got for all this mana? Oh, they've got Ugin. All right. Well, I think we've seen all we need to see there. On to sideboarding. So close. I thought we had it, but sadly not. Let's take Commandeer. And I think that's about it. What do we take out? Fury seems pretty bad. And I guess we could bring in some amount of wear and tears. It doesn't seem great. The general is probably a little bit too slow, so we can ditch the generals, bring in a wear and tear, and call it a day, I think. It also trades with a Scion token, I think, that the opponent can make. So yeah, we definitely want to go first. That could be pretty funny. 1, 2 in the graveyard. Yeah, this hand seems very clunky. Let's go ahead and mulligan that. Okay, I think this is already better, so we'll go ahead and keep. We need to put a card back. We've got 3 lands, which is probably fine. We could put back the Marauder or the Subtlety. We'll put back the Marauder, I think. We might be able to find another one with the incubation, but the problem is we didn't have a way to enable it, so I think it was fine to do it that way. I would really like to get a Commandeer. I have never cast Commandeer in my life, but I've played it in my sideboards before, but I just never have it come up. So that is definitely on my bucket list of things to do on this league, is cast a turn 2 Rhinos and Commandeer a very big Khan. I think that's about it. Those are the two goalposts that we have today. If we can do both, I'll be absolutely thrilled. If we can do one of the two, I'll still be pretty happy. All right, let's just lead off with a, I guess, a forest. And what do we find? I guess we just take the Subtlety. Very sad to see both of our Commandeers go to the graveyard. Oh, that really does suck. Sorry, not into the graveyard, to the bottom, but we can shuffle them back in. That's all good. Yeah, I think it's fine taking the Subtlety here. I guess we could have fetched and then cast Subtlety in turn 2 Rhinoed. Oh, that could have been actually... Yeah, potentially it would have been better to take the Delirium card there, the Marauder. But this is still fine. We get a turn 3 Shardless Agent with plenty of backup. Opponent plays no Tron lands so far. Sylvan Scrying. Yeah, I think we might as well just counter this. Actually, no, we're going to let that resolve. It's just, they play 2 lands. Like, they're so far away from actually getting Tron. I think we're just fine with letting them do that. And then we'll go ahead and get a Triome. Yeah. If they want to try and do Tron that slow, I think we just let them encounter their top end if they ever even get there. If we hit... if we hit our 2-drop, then we don't actually cascade here. I don't think there is a way that you have a chance to respond. Oh, that sucks. Alright, I guess we're evoking... yeah, I think we're just having to evoke for fun here. Well, it gets a creature into our graveyard. That is not really worth 2 cards, but we cannot afford to Shardless Agent here, hit the Delirium creature, which we would have, and then not hit Rhinos. So, as bad as that was, you got to do what you got to do. The Bloodbraid helps us out in some cases, but it also definitely hurts us in others. But we do now have 4, 8, 11, 13 power on board. So that's nothing to scoff at. Opponent plays the Urza's Power Plant. Yeah, opponent had such a slow start. This should just be like a freebie, but our hand was also not very functional. Warping Whale will get rid of a Marauder. They really need to do something, I guess, with their mana. They want to play around a counterspell as well. We draw the Architects. We can keep this just for subtlety, but I think we just want to cycle it. Try and find something. Actually, no. Let's not do it now. We'll do it during their turn in case they turn full Khan or something. We can subtlety the Khan. Is our opponent going to dismember one of our Rhinos here? We might as well suspend the Footfalls. And we'll pass the turn. Yeah, having subtlety for a Khan and then we just have lethal on board. I don't know what they could have other than Ensnaring Bridge at this point. Sure, you can play the Sphere, that's fine. Crack the Sphere. Into the Mine, yeah. Still one away. O-Stone is one turn too slow, unfortunately, opponent. Yeah, sweet. On to sideboarding again. Now that we're on the draw, do we just want more wear and tears to answer O-Stones and things? Well, we definitely want the Caverns. That's a no-brainer. And no, maybe we don't want these. I think that makes wear and tear worse on the draw. I think we need to be... I don't know, this is tough. We only need to cut one card. I guess we could cut one Footfalls because we're not going to need all three anyway. Yeah, let's go with that. We need to keep as many blue cards in as possible for Commandeer, and I really want to get someone with it because I think that'd be really fun. Instant Sorcery, Artifact Creature. So turn 3 Violent Outburst is online. We just have no interaction for Tron. I think we just have to try and do better. Because we can't turn 2 with this hand. Let's send it back and try and find something with like a gemstone or something. Unfortunately not, but I think it was worth a try. We'll go ahead and keep. This hand is functional. I guess we stick back the Rhinos. We've got land, instant sorcery. So we just need one more type for the Bloodbraid Marauder. Was really hoping for a Gemstone Cavern. That would have been nice. Okay, opponent leads up with an Expedition map. Maybe we should have just kept him wear and tears. We draw Cast Out. So we've got the guaranteed turn 3. I guess we just lead off casting this. See what we can find. A Shardless Agent. And that goes to the graveyard. Sorry, not to the graveyard, to the bottom, not the graveyard. That'd be much better if it was the graveyard. Instant sorcery, land, and enchantment. So we are online. We would just like to find a subtlety, really, or something to turn off all of their shenanigans. Ardent Plea, sure. So we'll go ahead, play the Misty. I guess we can cast this now in case we find subtlety. Architects of Will or a Bloodbraid. I guess we take the Bloodbraid and pass, because we want to start hitting our land drops, right? We don't need many more Cascaders at this point. Yeah. So you got your map. What are you doing with all of this mana? They've got the Khan, sure. And I assume they're going to go get Chalice here and just play Chalice on 0. I don't know what we can do other than cast out to get rid of that for now. But that's fine, because we can use Architects of Will to cycle. Let's see, what did they get? So they've minus Khan, and they've gone for Engineered Explosives. Okay, that's way better for us, because we can just fight through one. What are we going to fetch for? Because we need red. I think we're just going to go for Steam Vents. That gives us Teamer, and we're just missing white. Yeah, we'll have to do that. We'll go ahead and shock. And cycle. And we're hoping to hit a land drop here. We do not, but we find another Architects, which is fine. Okay, there we go. There's the land. I guess we go shock. And what do we want to do? I guess we just go end of turn outburst. They've got 7 mana to play with. Yeah. Maybe we'll get lucky and then we tap out and then we can untap. So we can end step outburst and then like untap, get rid of this or something. We'll have to see what our opponent does though. Okay, that's the scary land for them to play because now they have 10, which is like Ulamog and stuff. Okay, so they're going to tick down Khan again. This time I wouldn't be surprised if they were looking for bridge. Sundering Titan, oh god. Yeah, I guess we just lose. Yeah, there's no point even playing that out. They've got the Engineered Explosives as well. And that one was brutal. Definitely could have had more sideboard hate for Tron. But yeah, fair play to our opponent. They did really well. Game 2 was a bit of a dud for them, but we also got really lucky. So I feel like we used up all of our luck in Game 2. But anyway, on to the next round. All right, Game 3. And again, we're on the play. I'm telling you guys, if you want to go first every game, just record it on YouTube. What do we got? Yeah, this hand looks fine. We'll go ahead and keep. It's nothing crazy, but it's got our lands and everything. Unfortunately, one of them is colorless, but it's what it is. Does it matter which one we do first? I think we'll do the incubation first. What are we going to go for? We're going to go for Temple Guard, and then I guess we go for Steam Vents first. And cast this. What do we got on top? Alright, Subtlety it is. Would have preferred a Cascader, but that's okay. We are protected from scam turn 1, which is nice. So we untap here, and we've got the Marauder. Okay, that's perfect for the next turn. So I guess this turn we just... If we're against a green-black deck, that means it's going to be either Yawgmoth, or maybe Scam. trying to work out if it's worth just fully send the subtlety to the bin just to Marauder this turn, but I don't think so. We'll just go ahead, play this, and pass. Probably a bit over the top to subtlety there, just to get the Marauders in one turn earlier. Maybe this deck should just be playing 4 Street Wraith, because like Street Wraith there, you would just cycle it, slam your Marauder. Yeah, I think that's right actually. All right, we'll try that out at some point as well. We'll stick 4 Street Wraith in, or maybe just 3. You only need to draw 1, because then incubation plus a fetch and a Street Wraith is just like, that's very easy to accumulate. Opponent has fetched with 2 Catacombs, got a Stomping Ground and a Blood Crypt. So are we against good old fashioned Jund? Is that a Renin 6? It is a Renin 6. I don't think we care about Renin 6. No, I'm pretty sure we just let that happen. And yeah, we'll go for the Temple Garden. And we're just gonna go ahead and cycle this as well. Okay, we draw Violent Outburst. That's a really good draw as well. I would much rather Violent Outburst instead of playing a Marauder into a Renin 6. I feel like we've got everything we need here to win this. Opponent's got to stop during our upkeep. Don't know what they've been doing in their previous rounds. Let's just go Island and pass. We'll go end of turn, Outburst, then we can kill the Renin 6 if we need to before them, or at least get it down to 4. Actually, no, judging on their life total, we probably won't even bother. I think we'll just go face. Alright, Urza Saga is down. Get back your Verdant Catacombs with your Renin 6. You've got a million lands in hand. And they're just going to end the turn. What do you got? Thoughtseize, target us. Alright, well, let's stick some Rhinos in play. So we just add 8 power to the board. Do we want a Subtlety and a Force of Negation in hand, or do we want a Bloodbraid Marauder? I think we're fine just letting them pick one of them. If they know what they're doing, I assume they'll take the Marauder, but our hand is just absolute gas. Next turn we can play our land and keep up Subtlety and Force, so these aren't even 2-for-1s. Yeah, 2-for-1s anymore. We can blow up their Saga if we're scared of something they'll go get. Love to see the Jund Saga list doing well. Shout out to Phil on my team, Team Templar. As you can see our logo above when it changes back. Phil managed to... That's a pretty big goif. Phil managed to just come second in the Mega Modern in the UK, which as far as I'm concerned, or far as I'm aware, is the biggest modern event in the UK. And he just came second playing Jund Saga, so a big up Team Templar. That might be quite hard to win through. Need to find some removal or something. I guess we could just keep outbursting through them. So I guess we just play our land and pass. Or are we supposed to just swing and try and kill them quicker? Hit them for 4 down to 10. No, I don't think that's worth it. I think we want to build up quite a few of them before we start swinging. This Tarmogoyf is just absolutely doing work. This is why I was saying in previously, when we were playing against the Zoo player, we're like, Goyf is so much better against Team of Rhinos than the Neoshiba Brawler. It's just so much better. Okay, opponent does nothing because they know about the subtlety, so we're just gonna cast the Outburst now that we know they're not gonna play anything. I guess the other option was to just cast the subtlety and start clocking them in the air, but I don't think that's what we want to be doing. Opponent is going to Fatal Push one of our Rhinos here. Just trying to stem the bleeding, I guess. Alright, more Rhinos on board. And now we get to untap, and we can even cast another one if we want to. Oh, we draw the General. The General is very good, except they have a Ren and 6 in play. So we're going to stockpile the Ren for now, I think. Is there anything in particular we want to do here? So we can swing and hit them for 8. That seems pretty good. Yeah, I think we're going to swing. If they have removal, is what it is. I still think it's worth it, just putting a clock on them. Opponent is going to fetch here. I assume they're just going to make a dude with the Saga. They don't make a dude, or they might do an end step. Okay, so they take a bunch of damage. They know that we have Beseiju, so if they go get the Shadow Spear, they know what's coming. I think we're still going to go ahead and do that. So we'll keep that up and we'll just Marauder for now. Yeah, that's got to be the right play, I think. So we play the Marauder, keep up Beseiju, and now I don't really know what they can do other than play like an unreal amount of Tarmogoyfs. We could try and end step, blow this up, so they don't get Shadow Spear, but I honestly just don't want to risk them having Shadow Spear in the hand or drawing it, because Shadow Spear on a Tarmogoyf is just going to make this game way more difficult than it needs to be. So we'll let them untap and get the extra construct. I don't think we care too much about that. I just want to make sure that Shadow Spear is under control, and the way to guarantee that is just let them go get it if that's what they want to get. Yeah, so they make another construct, make loads of dudes, and then they can double block one. Oh no, these are going to become 3/3s. If they get the Shadow Spear, one will become a 4/4. No, they'll put it on the Goyf to give it Daft Touch. Sorry, lifelink. I don't really think there's going to be enough though. Like Shadow Spear on the Goyf, they know we Beseiju it, then they take 4, 8. Maybe if they have a Fatal Push as well, but that's not enough to. So they'd have to have untap source for equipping the Shadow Spear and Fatal Push. I think that's pretty much all they can do this turn to survive. They can tick down Ren and kill the Marauder, but I don't think we care too much about that. And if by some miracle they do manage to stabilize, General plus 1 Cascade card should be pretty strong. How many of these have we gone through now? 1, 2, 3. So we're only down to 2 Rhinos left in the deck. They did go for the Shadow Spear as expected. Oh, it costs 2 to equip. I thought it was 1. Yeah, I have no idea what they could do here. Oh no, I guess if we Beseiju. Yeah, so that was fairly self-explanatory. Killed that dude, and now they can Shadow Spear, and then if we Beseiju, they get a land. And then they can use that land to Fatal Push potentially. There it is. Sure. And they swing, hoping that we don't, that we don't blow up their Shadow Spear, but obviously we're going to. There's the Overgrown Tomb, and that is just lethal. I see our opponent is just going to concede. Yep, nice. Sweet. I think this is already a very good matchup anyway, so I'm not too thrilled that we managed to beat them. And on the draw, I guess we bring in the gemstones. You don't really need to be too quick, but it's nice to do. And I don't think we really care for the forces or the subtleties in this matchup. It's not really about like resolving or like countering their spells, because they're more of like a mid-range deck. So I think the gemstones are good for us, speeding us up, but I don't think us countering their spells is too relevant. And then I think we need endurance. And stealing a Goyf would be pretty sweet. Oh no, it's non-creature, so it would be like Wrenn and 6 or a Thoughtseize. Yeah, that doesn't seem good. Probably just 2 Wear and Tears. Answers, they're like engineered explosives, all that kind of stuff. And I'm pretty sure this works the way I think it does with Cascade. I really hope it doesn't mess up the Cascade. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Yes, we will absolutely keep this hand. It's a little bit slow, but a unchecked general will just absolutely dominate the game. And a general into an outburst or a shardless is very, very strong in this matchup. Alright, opponent, fetch shock into Thoughtseize, I'm expecting here. They are playing Gigantha, so we know we've not got to worry about Fury, Grief, any other shenanigans that I can't think of right now. Have to see what they want to take. They take the Shardless. Okay, sure. Well, that's two Delirium already. This does mean they've now enabled us to turn 2 Cascade if we happen to draw it. That would be very sweet. Let's just go land and pass the turn. I think it is worth just end of turn getting a Triumph in this situation instead of cycling this. Actually, no, screw it. We'll just go at end of turn, get Steam Vents, cycle this, and hope that we somehow draw the one-of creature in our deck that would allow us to turn 2. There we go, there's the Goyf. Oh no, this is artifact creature, so we wouldn't be able to. I do still think it's worth doing. We really need to find something to do. And this isn't going to make their Tarmogoyf any bigger. We draw the Triumph anyway. Okay, sure. Opponent just down to 3 cards already. Let's go ahead and cycle another Architects of Will here. And we find Cast Out. I guess we could fetch shock, end of turn, cycle that. Yeah, we're actually going to have to do that because we want to make sure our next turn is a guaranteed Delirium because of the outbursts. So we'll just pass the turn back. We're going to take a massive hit here, a 4 from the Tarmogoyf, and obviously we are not going to cycle Cast Out until the opponent's Goyf has hit us, because that is kind of how Tarmogoyf works. You don't want to put enchantments in the bin until you have to. What have you got, opponent? 1 black. Duress. Sure. What, I mean, like, they could take the Cast Out, but all that would be doing is, that would be doing us a favor. Okay, that's 1 of the Violent Outbursts gone. Oh, that does pump up their Goyf. That's pretty nice. and that does put us up to 4 Delirium. 4 card types that is enabled Delirium, so that kind of makes me not want to cycle this and just preserve our life total. It is also just a castable spell. It's not a great removal spell in Modern, but it does do the job. So maybe we just keep this. Another Tarmogoyf. Gross. Yeah, there is... I don't think there's any way that we are fetch shocking there. We'll get the Temple Garden. And what do we got? Another General. We don't have enough time to General, unfortunately. So we're just going to have to go and shock. This really sucks because we're just... Oh no, we do get to trade with 1. But we need to find something else to do for the following turn because we're going to die to anything here. Alright, so they swing with everything. If they have a removal spell, this is going to be pretty much game over, I think. Oh, that's a good draw, to be fair. Finding the Marauder does give us a little extra power on the swing back. So we cast the Rhinos, and I guess the question is, can we kill them on the crap back at all? 4, 8, 11. Well, we have to block. Yeah, we have to block to survive. So we might as well just double block. And this can't block. It literally says cannot block. So that's not too much to think about there. And untapped land would be good for cast out, or any Cascader would also be good. They've got 1 card in hand. Alright, what do we got? Wooded Foothills can fetch us a basic. Yeah, that's about as good as we could ask for. They can go end of turn, make a dude, untap, make another dude, and then they would just need like a Shadow Spear. Okay, so let's play the Wooded Foothills. And I think we just swing for 3. We're probably going to cast out on this Tarmogoyf. Is there any way that we can die next turn? I'm just trying to think how many artifacts they can put into play. So they can end of turn, make a dude, untap, make another dude, fetch with the as a Saga, that makes 3. So yeah, we have to keep the Rhino back, unfortunately, just in case. Orcish Bowmasters, that's pretty good. Are we just dead? Wait, shouldn't they have just taken that? We can... No, we can exile this. Okay. For some reason I thought we were dead there, but we're not quite just dead yet. So we'll have to see what our opponent does. But I think they're going to try and get a Shadow Spear. Yeah, there's the Shadow Spear. Now they can put that on the Tarmogoyf. Yeah, I believe it gives Trample as well as Lifelink. Yeah, it does. Okay. So they're going to swing, and the question is, which do we cast out, the creature or the Shadow Spear? Unfortunately, I think it's going to have to be the creature. Let's think about this. They can't re-equip it. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and put this on the Tarmogoyf, I think. There you go, people. If you didn't expect to see anything new today, you've seen a cast out in 2023 cast on a Tarmogoyf. Oh, they've got the removal. Okay. Well, we're going to need to find something good. That couldn't have really been much better. So, tap 3, play the general. Sorry, opponent, we happen to get very, very lucky. Now we get to make a 4/4 and potentially find a Cascader as well. That was incredibly fortunate for us. We just really need to find something here. Okay, we do whiff. That's very unfortunate. Well, we're not cycling the Triumph anytime soon, so we'll go ahead and play that. And pass the turn. And it doesn't look like our opponent can just aimlessly swing at us. Next turn we can just cast the second general. We basically just turn it into a 3-mana 4/4. What have they got here? Oh, they're just going to put Giganta into their hand and play a Bloodstone Mire, sure. Very difficult for our opponent to answer these Golem tokens. Oh, what a fantastic draw. Okay, so let's go 3 mana. I guess we keep... Yeah, we'll do that. 3 mana. We'll make a general token and we get to Cascade as well. Oh, and for the extra value, we get to hit into the Marauder first. Cascade trigger again. What a beautiful stack that is. Shardless Cascade, make a token, Bloodbraid, Cascade, hit Rhinos, make 2 more 4/4s. That is absolutely fantastic. We are going to be screenshotting that for Twitter, I think. So there you have it, guys. General Rockrick and Bloodbraid Marauder in, I guess, Rhinos. It's not Teemo, it's 4 colors. But yeah, the deck is really, really fun to play. If you want to play a good deck, but you don't want to like play the normal boring Teemo Rhinos list, then feel free to give this a go. It does make the deck a lot more interesting. You have to try and get Delirium as well. I found that the normal Rhinos list was just like mind-numbingly boring, whereas this has a little bit more play to it. Is the deck better than Teemo Rhinos? Probably not. I think if you do want to make this deck really, really good, I think we need to go all in on the Bloodbraid Marauder, and the way that you should probably be doing that is going 4 Street Wraith, and then that way a turn 1 incubation with a any of the pitch elementals and a fetch land gives you turn 2 Marauder every time. So basically, if this is in your opening hand, a fetch land and one of these plus 4 Street Wraith, you get a turn 2, which is reasonably more consistent. You could even up your Furies and Subtleties, so it's basically just how quickly can you find an incubation. I think that'd probably be the best way to go. But yeah, the deck is really, really sweet. If you want to see more content, please feel free to subscribe. There is plenty more videos where this came from. We're always playing very bizarre decks on this channel for some reason. I never considered myself like a fringe deck player, but I feel like every time I make a video, it's on a weird deck. Or if you want to see Domain Zoo, that's probably my most commonly played deck. Also, I might do some Cube content now that Cube is on Modo again. But anyway, yeah, if you enjoyed the content, please make sure to leave it a like. It makes a huge deal of a difference to small content creators like myself. Only having 400 subs, an extra couple of likes in a video does actually make a huge difference. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.